In part 2 of our video, we are going to be talking about inscribed angles and their intercepted arcs, but this time with equations. So in number 7, I noticed that they gave me the intercepted arc of 158 degrees, and then they gave me my inscribed angle of 8x minus 9 degrees. So I know that this angle measurement is half of 158. So what I could do is, let me go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and half 158. So if you half that, you're going to get 79 degrees. Okay, so this angle measurement I know is 79 degrees, and so I'm trying to see what value of x will give me 79 degrees. So I'm going to say 8x minus 9 has to equal 79, because this angle is 79, this equation is 8x minus 9, so they're talking about the same thing, so they're equal. So I'm going to add 9 to both sides. 8x is going to give you 88, divide by 8, and I end up with 11. Okay, and I'm done because it only wanted me to solve for x. If you wanted to, you could substitute in to see if you're correct. So let's check our work. 8 times 11 minus 9 ends up giving me 79 degrees, which makes sense because your arc is double your inscribed angle. Okay? You could have done this problem a different way. So I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to erase this. Another way I could have thought of this problem is to set this equal to 158 instead of 79. So I know if I double this angle, I will get the 158. So you can also say, let me double my inscribed angle, and that will give me my intercepted arc. Okay, in my opinion, this is probably a lot more algebra, so it's not faster. But when you distribute, you would get 18x minus 18 equals 158. You would add 18 to both sides. So 158 plus 18 is 176. Then you would divide by 16, and you got the same thing that we did before of 11. Okay, so in my opinion, doubling an equation is more work than halving the arc and setting equal to that. But you do you. Let's take a look at another problem. So on number 8, wants you to solve for x. Notice it gave you the inscribed angle of 67 degrees, which opens up to your arc. Okay, so I know this doubled is equal to my blue arc. So again, I like to do that numerical first. So let me double 67 to get 134. Okay, so I know this outside arc, LN, is 134 degrees. So what I can do is this arc and this equation are talking about the same piece of information, so this equation has to equal 134. So 4x plus 58 has to equal 134. Okay, so I would subtract 58 on both sides. $134 take away 58 is going to be 76. And divide both sides by 4. So I end up getting 19. Okay? So again, this is one way to solve the problem, but we know we can solve it a separate way, so let's look at that way. Okay? The other relationship between these two is I know that this arc is half of this angle. So I can say half of this arc is equal to 67. Okay, now again, in my opinion, I think this way is easier. It's less fractions, which we all don't like. But let's figure out half of 4 is going to be 2x, and then half of 58 58 divided by 2 is going to be 29. Subtract 29 on both sides. 2x is going to equal 38. Divide by 2, you get the exact same thing, 19. So it is up to you. I think it's easier, in my opinion, if you have a numerical value to either half it or to double it and then set it equal. So you can either half it, set it equal, or double it and set it equal. But totally up to you. You just have to remember the relationship that this minor arc is smaller than this. So if you're moving to the intercepted arc, you would times it by 2. And then if you're working backwards, you half it. Okay? All right, let's turn the page. Ooh. I'm going to skip over some problems because you guys are going to try them on your own. But I am going to talk about number 11. So you guys are going to end up trying these on your own in a second, but let's look at 11. So on number 11, it wants me to solve for x again. It wants me that x equation is a part of an inscribed angle. Okay? So in my brain, I know I'm going to have to figure out this intercepted arc and to create a relationship between these two. So I don't know this intercepted arc, but I do know the other two pieces of the circle. So let me say 360, subtract 162, and then subtract 92 to figure out your missing arc length measurement of 106 degrees. So I know that this arc is going to be 106 degrees. Okay? Remember, my brain likes to address this number. And so I know if I'm trying to find the angle, I'm going to half 106. So 106 divided by 2 ends up being 53 degrees. So I know this inscribed angle is 53 degrees. So now that I have an equation, 7x minus 10 has to be 53 degrees, so that is my equation. So 7x minus 10 is or equals 53. I would solve for x by adding 10 to both sides. 7x is equal to 63. Divide by 7 to get 9. Okay? Now again, you could have done that problem differently. I know this, you did have to still find that that green arc was 106. But what I could have done is I know if I double this angle, that will equal to my intercepted arc. So let me show you another way to do this. And then you can pick your favorite way. So another way of doing this is you could say 2 of my 7x minus 10s, if I double my inscribed angle, that equals my arc. Okay? Distribute. 7 times 2 is 14x. 2 times 10 is 20. And then I just have to do a little bit more algebra of adding 20 to both sides. 14x is equal to 126. And then when you divide by 14, you end up getting the exact same answer that we did previously of 9. So again, totally up to you on how you look at the problem. But what I want you guys to do is to try 9, 10, and 12, and then I will show you the answers, and then we'll do one more together, and then you'll be free. So press pause and try 9 and 10 and 12, and I'll throw up the answers in a second. Good luck. So answer to number 9 ended up being 7. So you knew that your inscribed angle opened up to a semicircle, which is 180 degrees. And then if you half 180, you get 90. And so you can say this 13x minus 1 has to equal 90 to get 7. Number 10 was a little tricky. So you first were looking for your blue angle, but you needed to know this blue angle of 59, but you could not figure that out unless looking at this 114 inscribed angle, which opened up to all of this. So I doubled 114 to get 228. And then I used my knowledge of a circle and subtracted 228 and 78 from 360 to get my missing arc of 54. That kind of looks like a 9. It's a 4. Then I could half 54 to find your inscribed angle, which is 27, so you could set your equation equal to 27. So remember, these are never going to be equal. You could have doubled this and set it equal to 54, or halved 54 and set it equal to one equation. But you do end up getting x equals 3. On number 12, you had to use the 67 and double it first to get 134. Then I used my knowledge of circles and subtracted 360, take away 120, and take away 134 to give you this measurement of RS, which was 106. So now you know the measurement and its equation, so you can set them equal to each other to get 17. Okay? All right, we're going to try one more problem with a lot of equations, and I'll let you try the rest on your own. So let's see what we have in 13. It gives me the measure of FGH. So my inscribed angle is 6x minus 21, plus 21. Then it gives you the measure of arc FJ to H is 17x minus 28. Okay, so no numerical answers in this. I've got two equations. So I have to ask myself, what is the relationship between the arc and the angle? Okay, I know two of my angles equal the arc. So one equation would be 2 of your 6x plus 21 will equal your intercepted arc of 17x minus 28. The other equation you could have written, you know that this is half of your angle. So you can say half of your 17x minus 28 will equal up to your angle of 6x plus 21. Now I know half of 17 is a decimal, so I'm not going to do this equation, but you can totally do it. I'm going to stick to doubling. So let me double 6x to get 12x, and let me double 21 to get 42. Then I'm going to bring everything down on the right side. All right, so I have variables on both sides. I'm going to draw my line. And you can add or subtract to bring things to the same side. I'm going to subtract 12x. So 17 minus 12x is going to give you 5x. Drop down the 28 and the 42. Next step would be to add 28 to both sides. I'm running out of room here. 28 plus 42. It's going to give you 70. Equals 5x divided by 5. So your x value is going to be a 14. Okay? So if they give you two equations, you can make a big side because you got to do a lot of algebra. So, and then unfortunately, it didn't say find x. It wanted me to find the measure of FJH. And so FJH is how long this arc is. So let me take that 14 and substitute it in. So 17 times 14 minus 28. If you type that in the calculator, you are going to get 210 degrees. All right. So now, I think you guys can feel pretty good about solving equations. That's as hard as it gets. So you guys can try the rest on your own. I am running out of time, so you're going to have to check the answers with the answer key. But if you have any questions, let me know. Remember that the arc, you got to double it. Sorry, the angle, double it to find the arc. If you know the arc, you can half it to find the angle. All right, thanks for watching Inscribed Angles. Try the rest on your own.